Hey everybody, how are you all today? Welcome, one and all. Hey Top Hat, hey Riolani, hey Squirtle, hey Poncho Hamster, hey Ian. How are everybody? Election Estebanana? Oh my god, that name. No, I think my mic is slightly malfunctioning, but I don't know. I think it's okay now. We'll see. Okay. Oh, hold on, let me do something real fast. Okay, sorry about that. Had to very quickly take care of something. Alrighty then, here we are. Once more on the edge. Do I still play 2B2T? Nope. I quit playing that server over 2 years ago now. There's just no point to it. But I'm not going to get into 2B2T today, I hope. Hey, Husky Cato, am I releasing the world download when it's done? You know it. When it's done, of course. 32. Let's knock this down a bit. There we go. So yeah, everything will be alright, I think. I played 2B2T? Oh no. Real Ani, where were you? Everything just gets destroyed on 2B2T. Well, that's not the reason, but again, I'm not going to get into 2B2T here. So just don't worry about it, man. 2B2T doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. I know, right? I can't imagine having ever played 2B2T before, but yes, that was the thing that I did once upon a time. Hey, Daily Dose of Roses, how are you? Oh, man. So, how has everybody else been? It's not anarchy at this point. Yeah, I know, right? You're telling me. I've known that it has been a shell of its former self for quite some time. Really a shame. But hey, that's how the ball bounces, I guess. Why is it on the left hand? Oh my god, where's Mike when you need him? Well, you see, Ian, there's a very good reason I use my left hand. And that reason is... so you can see why I would want to use my left hand. I would like to think that's a pretty good reason, don't you? Anyway, a lot of new people today. Yeah, I've apparently been getting some... I don't want to say like press or anything, but like some people have... I think I'm getting recommended via the algorithm. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't want to say anything prematurely. But something like that. It was a shell of its former self when the nerds attacked. Yeah. It was already kind of on shaky ground because of the nerds, but the things that happened after that is definitely not helped. Oh, hey. How are you, Void Shadow? It was a really cool explanation, I know. Just out of interest, how big is the entire build? It should still be 1075, but I'll go look real quick. The farthest reaches are this point, I believe. So from here to the opposite end. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. More whoosh. Even more whoosh. Just a little bit more whoosh and we'll be over there. And unwhoosh. There we go. Ignore that. That's not actually mine. I forgot that was out there, come to think of it. Okay, yeah. 1075. It is 1075 blocks long. Still that. It really hasn't grown lengthwise. It's just grown more density, you know? Now then, where was I? Ah, here we are. So yeah, I'd like to think it's been pretty cool. No, you don't want 100 people to be in the stream. It would ruin the fun and homeliness. I mean, it's only 20-something people. It's not that bad, Top Hat. Don't worry. I'm not going to blow up on you overnight, probably. But incidentally, if I did happen to blow up, you know, unrelated to my own efforts, you wouldn't be too mad, would you? I get that it's valuable to have it be a more down-to-earth, comfortable atmosphere and all, but, like, it can't stay that way forever and ever and ever. Not that tonight is going to be, you know, the night to end all nights or anything. If anything, this will just be a normal night. Just with some new faces. But, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having more people here, ultimately. It wouldn't be quite the same, but it wouldn't be awful either. At least I don't think. I don't know. It's that massive, and it's really impressive how... Oh, yeah, I know. I try to not get burned out by only going a little bit at a time. So, for example, I only play for a good 2 to 3 hours, and I only play it 3 times a week, roughly. I try to not go overboard for that very reason, because I know I will burn out. I've burned out on builds before. So, you know, it's hard, but, like, you do have to learn how to pace yourself. 7. Shit, I was one off. There we go. So yeah, it's a juggling act, if nothing else. Hey, diluted water. It's bound to happen. The building skill I have. Green or someone big caught wind. I'd shout. Yeah. Yeah, I keep expecting that to somewhat happen. But, like, I've not exactly done a ton of self-advertisement. Whoops. I've tried to show it when the 5-year anniversary came around. I tried to do a Reddit post, and I made a big video about it, and then it got shut down on Reddit, or Minecraft. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, our Minecraft is probably the worst place to advertise anything. And I know they have a policy against self-advertisement or whatever. But, like, honestly, you should be able to do that within reason. Especially if it's obviously Minecraft related. Or something big, you know? So I don't know. But at any rate, Okay. Before anyone asks, I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't worry about it. It will be Morbin time soon enough. I don't know why I said that. Anyway. I'm doing alright, diluted water. Can I quickly check how many hours I have? Alright. It's what, 20 days still? I don't expect the number to have really gone up significantly. Time with World Open is 13 days, but time played is 20.37. Yeah, I mean it's not moved a whole lot. That's what 20.37 times 24. That's 488 and 0.88 hours. Minus 488. What would that be? Times 60? 52 hours. Okay. Or no, 52 minutes. Okay, so 488 hours, 52 minutes, and 48 seconds. So there you go. That's how long I've been playing on this map. You know, a decent amount of time, I guess. Enough though, you still watch the carpetbagger. You miss the old days where a few people watching was more comfortable. Yeah, I know. I mean, that is just kind of the inevitability of any sort of big project. If you go long enough, if you do something intently enough, people take notice. And especially with how connected the internet has gotten, yeah, it gets out of hand very quickly. So like you're all just, you know, I'm happy you're here, but at the same time, like, don't get attached to the exact vibe, as awful as that may seem. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. But, like, it'll be okay. I'm not gonna, you know, go away or anything. Oh! Oh, I had this pillar. Sometimes when I've taken a break, I forget every single thing that I've done, every major decision. Here we go. Well, it's late, you're gonna be... Okay. It's too late, you're attached to the vibe. I'm sorry. I know. I know. Maybe someday, hell if I know. Maybe someday it will change. Maybe that's sooner rather than later. Who knows? I can't make you any promises, Top Hat. I'm sorry. I know you're attached. And I'm happy that people are attached to my vibe. Because I like to just be, you know? Learning how to just exist. To just let yourself be for a bit. That's always a good thing to get into the habit of. Jack sucks at life made it popular. Oh, yeah. I think I've heard of them before. I don't know. Just realized that the channel photo feels familiar. What's it from? It's Shinobu from the Monogatari series. You've probably seen the Monogatari series here and there. Do I agree there are two stages of life? One where he's young and two where he's big enough to jump a fence. No, that's not quite how that works. The stages of life are foolishness and wisdom. And you progress from one into the other frequently. Whether or not you get to stay in any one stage of life is entirely up to you. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself in one or the other. And if you're really not careful, you'll find yourself in both. So be careful. It's a big bad world out there, and I would hate for you to have to experience any of it. There we go. Okay. Why do people leave when they go to sleep? They can I mean, I turn off my computer when I go to sleep. So no, I don't blame them for leaving and saying goodnight and all that, because it's not always as cost effective or efficient to just leave your computer running. Or in some cases people are on their phones and they don't want to chew through their battery power. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. You may or may not care to. That's fine. I wouldn't worry. Whoops. Jumping fences is so much fun. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy jumping fences. Never found too much fun in it myself. Got too many splinters doing it as a kid. But sure, whatever floats your boat. Oh, it was a Homer quote. After the event, even a fool is wise. Oh, yeah. That is from Homer. Simpson, right? Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that extended look. No, the Greek Homer. Homer Simpson was made by the Greeks? Really? Wow. Well, I learned something today. He wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds a lot like him. He was probably drunk one night and Marge was too busy yelling at him, so that he invented the Cyclops and the Lotus Eaters and the Trojan War. He probably was just like, yeah, I'm going to get drunk and choke my son half to death, and then I'm going to invent an ancient war or some shit. That's probably how that went down. No way. I know. Peter Griffin's from Mexico. Wow. Today I learned, yeah. Two stages of life are irrelevant flesh creature and irrelevant flesh creature. Don't you mean irrelevant flesh creature and formerly irrelevant flesh creature? Because at some point you stop being a flesh creature. Or at least so I've been told. Why you chat? Oh, wait. I would say, why you chattel, but then that would sound like I'm making you my slaves, and that's not cool, so I better not. It looks good, why not? Hey Brian, how are you? No, you meant irrelevant flesh creature and irrelevant flesh-eating creature. Ah, I get it. Life and undead life, I guess. Either way, existence is fleeting. Enjoy the moment. You may not get to for very much longer. Can you generate another portal in the end using commands? Yeah, I think so. I don't see why not. When I did that when the end was brand new. And all it did was dump me out in the overworld coordinates. Or rather, it dumped me out in the nether, corresponding to the coordinates where it would have been if I'd made it in the overworld. If that makes sense. I guess I can do it here, I don't know. There's technically nothing stopping me. Yeah, I'm really liking the feel of this build thus far. I'm liking the cut of this build's jib. Does anyone even know what that is? A jib? What is the cut of a jib? How do I cut a jib? Do I have to drag a straight razor across my throat? Is that what that is? Is that a subtle way of telling me to kill myself? Like, I've never quite understood what that's meant to be a... Is that a reference? Is that a... I mean, it's old slang, sure, but... Who slung the slang, you know? Who's the first person to say that? It's such an odd phrase. Not quite sure. Okay. That ain't terrible. But it needs a little more something to it. It was a sequel to Space Valk 2. Oh wait, sorry, I generate another portal in the end. Let's see here. In 360 edition, you could put an end portal in the nether and another portal in the end. Oh, really? 360 was weird, wasn't it? Me being very curious, what made me start this project, or was it just a random thought turned project? So... I'll probably end up having to make a video on this eventually. But the original Space Valkyria was not actually what everybody associates it with. It was originally going to be basically Valkyria, the original Valkyria, but in the end. And because the end looks like outer space, I called it Space Valkyria. Extraordinarily original, I know. Oh, whoops. And what ended up happening was I got the central pillar done, the giant stone brick build that everybody associates as Space Valkyria. I got that done. And then we got found. Well, I didn't even really get it done. I got most of it done. Ooh, yeah, that works. And so it ended up being pretty damn awesome. And obviously we saved a world download of it. But, you know, it just never quite got fully completed. And so I thought, well, I want to do something. I would like to make it complete, you know? But instead of actually completing Space Valkyria 1, we bridged off a good 1.5 kilometers away, and then I just made a completely different project, which we then called Space Valkyria 2, because the idea was always we were going to bridge out somewhere in the end and make a base there with all the people from Valkyria, the original Valkyria in 2013. But that never really panned out because people were too bad at living. And so it ended up being that me and like 2 other people were capable of staying alive long enough to actually make Space Valkyria 2. And the idea was we were all going to build our own unique thing. But again, everybody was so awful at staying alive, it just ended up being really just me and one other guy actually making anything at what would become Space Valkyria 2. With Space Valkyria 1, we all got found so damn fast, we didn't have the time to really, process, and thus only one other person got to make anything of any significance. And it looked hideous, by the way. Like, it's hilarious how little people remember of Snacky's horse ranch from Space Valkyria 1. Like, nobody knows about that build. And it was literally attached to the side. Like, I could go on the archive right now and show you Snacky's horse ranch. And you would be stunned to learn that that fucker was actually attached directly to Space Valk 1. Like, nobody knows that. And yeah, it was completely and totally a part of the build, legitimately. I'll never forget Pyrobite saying, "Oh my god, Snacky's build hurts my eyes." And I had to laugh at that. Because, like, all of us knew it was awful. But that was kind of part of the joke, almost. It was hilariously bad, and we were all like, yeah, deal with it. And then, like I said, we got found so fast. I always kept the idea in mind for what I was doing at Space Valk 1, because I was never able to finish it. And so I thought, well, I definitely want to give it a crack again. I want to make it its own thing. I want to make it something interesting. And then I sort of got a completely different palette style in my head. That palette style was the precursor to this style. Obsidian, quartz, sea lanterns, glowstone, glass, lots of glass everywhere. I had lots of smooth stone slabs as well, but I ended up cutting those later on because I felt like they just detracted from the overall look. And yeah, that was Space Valk 2. Space Valk 2 got to live for a lot longer. However, it only got to live a lot longer because we had shut down all the end portals. And we owned the end privately for like 9 months. And so I was allowed to develop the palette style that would eventually become Space Valk 2. And of course, I really, really loved what I had come up with. And so I saved Space Valk 2 as well. And I was like, okay, I really want to, like, make use of these, you know? I've got a really cool idea. How can I best make this a thing, you know? And eventually, Space Valk 3 was born from the fusion of these two. We ended up getting found at Space Valk 2 in mid-April it was. But I kept the idea in mind, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something with this. And then I met Alpha about a month or two later, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna build Space Valk, the next one. It was, well, we called it 2.0, but it ended up being called Space Valk 3 eventually. And that was the central pillar down over there. That was what I initially built. So it's Space Valk 1's style or architectural mold, but with Space Valk 2's palette. And so I merged the two together, and that is 3. 3 is the child of 1 and 2, because 1 plus 2 equals 3. And also your mom. So yeah. It was just a really, you know, it was a kind of spur of the moment, but not really. it was just what I wanted it to be in the moment, you know? And at the end of the day, I'm still obsessed with the idea. I can't stay away from it. Whoops. There we go, 35. So yeah, here we are, basically. That is the idea. Okay, what are we dealing with lengthwise here? 39, perfect. We have an odd number. Pop open the champagne. We got an odd number to work with. Oh shit. That's right. We're stacking two things, so it's double. So it's not the actual length, it's half the length. So that's like 17. Close. Swing and a miss. It's 19. Perfect. All right. Come on, update. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 from the top. It's like right here. 2, 3, 4. So it'll go to here. Two, 3, 4. So 37. Okay, cool. Space Valk 3 started in early 2017, yes. Though technically you could argue that it started in late 2016, because that's when I actually like flew out to the place that I would eventually call the site. But like we hadn't yet picked out anything, though we were thinking about it. It was oh no, I remember what happened. We ended up getting exposed. Well, not really, but we would have been more exposed than we realized if we hadn't moved. It's a big to-do. I'm not going to get into the story, but you get the idea. It was a problem. So we ended up moving to where this place would eventually be. Oh shit. We based. Where did we base? I've got it written down. Here we go. The first site. So initially 68929. That's what, this way? I've probably erased it now that I think about it. Because I erased everything with World Edit, all the endstone and stuff. 68929, so it would be this. So right here. By 112,000 negative, so 112. So this is actually a few kilometers this way, so it's actually probably outside the range of where I've erased. Probably. $112, 238. Oh shit. Yeah, I did erase it. I thought as much. Okay. So like right here. Damn, you can literally see it. It's so big. Wow. Okay, so where I'm floating, roughly, it's probably more along the lines of sea level, which is like 64-ish. Yeah, 64, 65. Somewhere in here. So this, 68,929. So we're a little far off it. Yeah, right here. 929 by negative 112,238. So like right there. So right here is where I initially founded Space Valk 3. Right where I'm floating. And then Mona, one of my basemates, logged in with a backdoored client, and we were like, it was an accident. He didn't intend to do it. He meant to log into Constantium. Logged in here and went, Jack, oh my god, I logged in at Space Valk 3 using, you know, such and such client. Like, what do I do? And I'm like, oh my god, Mona, you fucking idiot. Okay, well, I just started laying down the groundwork. So I haven't actually done very much. So we can still, you know, uproot and move somewhere else. It's not going to be the end of the world. Damn, look at all those paintings. And item frames. And so, as much trouble as it was, we relocated here. Only about a kilometer away. And I was like, yeah, that'll be fine. Who needs to go farther than a kilometer? Nobody will come looking for us. It'll be alright. Well, little did we know, we had inadvertently gotten our coordinates not leaked yet, but they would be leaked. There was someone who was sharing an account with a friend, and he ended up logging in, and he screenshotted the coordinates. So he got the first site without us knowing. Then he forgot he had gotten it. Like, this is a wacky story. And because he forgot he took the screenshot, he inadvertently gave all the screenshots away. Whoops. Thinking that it was okay. And when he did, he inadvertently compromised... Oh, shit. Undo. Our base. And he had no idea he had done this, by the way. He had no idea that's what his actions had inadvertently caused. Kind of funny when you think about it in retrospect. Oh shit. Okay, I've got to go over a block. There we go. Yeah, that puts it in. That gets it there. Anyway, so yeah, it was really quite unfortunate. But also our saving grace, because if our coordinates hadn't inadvertently been leaked without us knowing, by the time we found out, you know, there wasn't a whole lot we could do about it. And so I thought, well, shit, what do I do? We can stay here at a now known compromised place, or we can move again. And bear in mind, by the time move again was an option, I had already completed all the way out to here. I don't know why I said hero. I had completed most of this tube. I hadn't yet laid down the rainbow glass, but I had completed the tube, and then I was starting to install these pillars here with the beacons and the obsidian. I was starting to put all those into place, and it was spring break of 2018, and I get word that our place here is compromised, and I'm like, what the fuck? How? And then I find out how, and I'm like, okay, we're moving. And so I left this entire place here, and we moved all our items, and we just vamoosed. And it ended up being a really smart idea, because about a year later, after we moved, the NOCOM exploit occurred, And because of NOCOM, the place where we were was compromised. But we didn't know it until, of course, they showed up and destroyed it. At which point I was like, oh shit. They've got some way to figure out where people are. That's dangerous. So I went onto an underground account that nobody knows about. And yeah, that's how I survived NOCOM. Actually, let's go every 3 blocks. Ooh, yeah, I like that. And so, yeah, it's really hilarious because, like, nobody knew there were 2 Space Valk 3s for the longest time. And the answer is simply because, yeah, like, when they killed the first copy, it was like, well, you know, it's gone. Jack didn't build it twice. That was just not a thing people could think of. And yeah, it ended up being just genuinely that funny. Nobody found out. Nobody thought about it. We were all good. Okay, this is an odd amount. Huh. Let's try maybe going every 5. So yeah, and then a bunch of people found us by accident. They were a Turkish streamer and his friends. I won't say their names because they get enough flack. Like, I hate them. I don't want to talk about them if possible. So yeah, that's Space Valk 3. More or less. Sorry you haven't been on the streams. Oh, hey Sam. Don't worry about it. Hey Crafty Biz, how are you? Oh, hey Clamp Wizard. God, a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. Let's see here. How old is this project year-wise? Space Valk 3 itself is 5 years old, but the Space Valkyria project has been going since 2015. Ah, it works! Yay, symmetry! You ever seen Tristan's video when Pyro and the others griefed Warmonger's base? God, that was so old. Yep. Oh man. What's the story of Space Valkyria Island? There really isn't one. It's honestly the most boring and least eventful. Hey, NASCAR Cherry. Space Valkyria Island was just Space Valkyria 2. That's it. Like, all that we did was that we had the end to ourselves for about 9 months, and all I did was build. That was it. We retreated from the first Space Valkyria after we were found, and we just fucked around out there all by ourselves. That's it. There's nothing more to say about it because there's nothing more that really happened. Tristan ended up becoming a loose cannon by about the end of Space Valk 2. Which is funny because he would be the one to grief it. And that's it. I wish I could say there was more, but like, when you shut down an entire dimension and have nothing but time to build, like, it's a lot like this, you know? It's a lot like this build. How it's just me doing stuff, and apart from like stories, nothing happens, you know? Oh shit. Oh, Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this on every single one of these. Because why not? So yeah, it's just, you know, the ups and downs of life. Let's see here. Oh, well, I'm glad you have summer, Crafty Bit. It's 3 a.m. for you. Doubt you'll be here every stream. Don't worry about it, Crispy Creeper. You don't have to. You don't got to stick around. If it's 3 a.m. for you, I understand. I sure as hell wouldn't stay up intentionally to 3 a.m. Oh. What the? Oh no. Okay, undo. Undo. I didn't go out far enough. I mean, that's still a cool detail. I'm going to put this on here anyway. Though maybe more in the back. Yeah. Because, like, you got that protruding bit there. Man, walls are so good. I'm so glad they added more wall materials. Really a shame that more blocks don't have walls. Walls are so good. I can remember back in the day people would use cobblestone walls in like any castle build, and it got really busy looking. Like, everybody's familiar with that high pixel. It's even called the high pixel style. And the reason is simply that when that server began, that was it. Like, there were not that many building styles that were just really gorgeous. But in my opinion, they refined it a little too much and it got very busy. I don't know. You can do a lot now. So, like, it's kind of difficult to make a style feel too busy. It's possible, don't get me wrong, but not that common. Wait a sec. Wait a fucking sec. There we go. The back is all screwy. It's not quite how I want it. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, I'm really kind of disappointed that it's not possible to build with quartz walls or anything of that nature. Quartz walls would be amazing right here on top of these stairs. Like, that would be perfect. But sadly, we can't have nice things, I guess. Oh well. I think we all know why we are unable to have nice things. I don't want to rant about it, but you all probably can guess. Hello guys, it was Fit. Are you saying this is a FitMC video, or are you saying that in like a jesting way? Ghost. Whatever. Anyway. Stupidest thing you ever did was driving to the store in the middle of a foot of snow blizzard at midnight. Oh my god. To buy pizza. Yeah, that was stupid, Void Shadow. Holy shit, don't do that. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. You just found my channel a few days ago. Okay, 2BT story video from Fit. Ah, I get it now. Okay. Gotcha. Well, welcome. Welcome, Ghost of the Naruto fandom. Okay, and then I also kind of want to add a little bit of that onto it. That looks good. Oh, you thought that was funny, do you? Am I some sort of joker to you? Do I make you laugh? Do I make you smile? Do you grimace when you hear words pop out of my mouth? Because if so, then good, I'm doing my job. Anyway, as you know, all space bases have construction delay. Well, I mean, building in zero gravity isn't easy. I mean, yeah, construction delays are inevitable. Like, we're at some point gonna build a moon base, IRL, because they're already talking about going back to the moon. And like, that's a good idea, and also a terrible idea. And I look forward to the impressive body count that moon base ends up having. Because, holy fucking shit, I almost wonder, do people understand how much trouble it would be to make a base in outer space? Because like with the ISS, it's less trouble than if they had done it, you know, because they got to do it on the moon. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to manage that. If they're going to ship it up in pieces or what. I mean, yeah, of course they're going to have to. There's no way. The weight restrictions are just too high. There's no reasonable alternative to getting the parts out into space. Now, obviously, that is not anytime soon that they're going to be doing that. I'm just saying, like, making a space base IRL is definitely on the table. Actually, this should be here. Because I kind of want it to look like it's a bar graph going up. That should be pretty cool. And then I can just lazily copy and paste this onto the other side and pretend it's art. So that goes up one, goes up here. There we go. I think. Skips one, so this will be here, that'll be here, that'll be there. Okay, cool. Cool. Anyway. Get eviscerated. Why am I getting eviscerated? Or who is getting eviscerated, rather? Are you getting eviscerated? I hope not, Top Hat Jack. I want you to stick around. You're one of my fans ever. Like, that's just it. Like, you're one of my fans. I don't want you to, you know, be eviscerated. Diameter, what? Use materials from the moon. Dust as concrete. That's a nice idea. But, like, you gotta get the tools and shit out there. You've still gotta get, like, thankfully you don't have to obey the standard laws of, construction. So you can make some pretty funky, you know, constructs on the moon just because, like, you're not really worried about structural integrity in quite the same way. But, like, the biggest issue is radiation protection. Like, there's just no protection from ambient radiation out there. And I don't think there's a way to make that. So, like, yeah, that's going to be a problem. That alone is going to cause a huge body count over time. People getting cancer left and right. Generally, it'd be astronauts, of course, but yeah. Okay, I'm really liking this. Someone laughs at Jack's stream. Meanwhile, Jack, I will eviscerate you mortal flesh bag. I don't know. The radius is 1,075 meters. I definitely have my own significant level of gravity. No. First of all, that's the diameter, not the radius. The diameter would be 1,075 minus 1 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 537. So the radius is about 537, not counting the centermost block. So 537 and a half meters is the radius. But no, that is not enough mass to make your own gravitational anything. That's not how that works. Gravity is one of the most perplexing forces. It is the strongest of the primal forces and the weakest simultaneously. It's the only force that can create a singularity. And it's the only force that does jack shit below the planetoid level. You know, you have to have like a significantly sized asteroid to really start feeling gravity's effects. It's almost paradoxical in a way. So no, this place, if it existed IRL, would not have even a tenth of the moon's gravity. Just no. And remember, the moon has like, what is the moon again of the Earth? I forget. Compared to Earth, it is 1/6. So yeah, like, no, you would not even be 1/60th of Earth's gravity on here, which is a tenth of the moon's. So no, this place would not have its own gravity. Not at all. That is just like not happening. The Death Star would have its own gravity, and it would be about that of the moon's. If even that. But even that's a bit iffy, simply because, like, you'd have so many other structural problems with something like the Death Star. I wouldn't worry about it. So yeah, it's a bit of an oddity. Whew. Anyway, have you ever heard of Planck energy? Yes, I have. Death Star is 160 kilometers in diameter. Damn. Okay, yeah. That thing would definitely have its own mass. Its own significant gravity. Well, if someone how the capabilities of making Space Valkyria IRL, wouldn't they be able to make a machine that can make it have its own gravity controller? Yowza, Mike, that is a sentence. Jesus. I will try to reinterpret that in such a way that it can be properly understood in the context of English. If anyone knew how to make Space Valk 3 IRL, they would have their own way to control gravity. There's a lot wrong with that statement. If you made Space Valk 3 IRL, or, you know, the closest approximate, right? You know, something that looks decent to it. It would just be like the ISS. You would need to make it spin. But the problem is, see, this is what I hate about science fiction. Science fiction is a wonderful tool and a horrible tool at the same time. People like Mike here, who don't know anything about actual physics, will think things like, oh, well, you know, one day we'll be able to just put a gravity machine on a starship and go wherever, or on a space station, or on a wherever. No, that is not how it works. The problem with gravity is that, as I said, it is such a weak force, and yet paradoxically, such a strong force. To interact with a field like gravity, we can interact with the strong, weak, and electromagnetic because those forces operate on a lower energy level. I'm dumbing this down, so this is not going to sound accurate if you know this. Just bear with me, okay? These forces operate, they're not forces, they're fields, okay? So we interact with these fields using what are known as virtual particles. We can somewhat interact on these fields because these fields have lower energy states. They're easier to mess with. Gravity, however, is paradoxically an incredibly weak field, but also so strong because the energy field, this field can only be interacted with at extremely high, absurdly impractical levels of energy. We cannot screw with the boson, to our knowledge, to our understanding of physics. We can interact with the gluon, you can interact with leptons, you can interact with photons, but interacting with the mass of with the Higgs boson, from what we understand, you can't do it yet. Maybe something about physics will come to light later on that will make that much more viable, but as we understand it for now, no. You cannot interact with the boson in that way. That's just not how it works. And so, there's no gravity controller machine that you can think of. That just will not be a thing. That is just not at all how physics will work. The best you can hope for in a zero gravity environment or a very, very low gravity environment like on the moon is a centrifuge. You either get a giant machine that spins you, or your habitation zone is a giant ring on its side and it's spinning. So basically imagine this, you know, you can hardly see it because the render distance, but you get a giant habitation ring like this, and then you spin that fucker around and around and around at a certain speed, and centrifugal force pushes you against this wall. And so this becomes your floor, and it pushes on you enough that it simulates gravity. That's the best you can hope for in outer space. And so you would be living on this wall, and the rest of this would just be your containment. You wouldn't be able to walk up here, there'd be no gravity up here. You wouldn't be able to walk on the walls, there'd be no gravity on the walls. You would be pushed down to here. And that's how it would work. And that's the best you could emulate using standard technology. And we could probably do that. That's probably not out of the realm of possibility. There is a giant drum-shaped ship called an O'Neill cylinder. It's a giant cylinder. It floats in space and it spins. And because it's a cylinder, you know, a lot like, say, this building here, the cylinder itself is inside a much larger ship. The larger ship is what's doing the propulsion. And the cylinder internally is spinning. And that's your habitation area. And so all along the inner cylinder wall, you can live and do stuff. And this is absolutely essential for daily life. Because here's the problem with living in a zero gravity environment. Calcium in your bones ends up stopping being deposited in your bones, which means you have free calcium floating in your blood, which will kill you because calcium is poisonous at a certain level. And so zero gravity is a fun little temporary experience, but also very deadly over like the course of 5 to 10 years. You can't live in a zero gravity environment for terribly long. For, you know, a decent long, short range period, you can get away with it. But muscle atrophy and dexterity issues and then nerve issues, because calcium will destroy your nerves over time. It'll do a ton of bad stuff to you. It'll damage your organs. It's just not a good idea. And so It's a really nice idea in science fiction to have a mysterious gravity controller and your ship just suddenly behaves like it's on Earth. But that it doesn't work that way. It cannot be that way, and it will never be that way because of literally how gravity works. We cannot interact with the Higgs field in such a way as to create artificial gravity. At least to our current understanding of how it works. And again, something in the future may disprove that. It may go on to be that, yeah, we can just do this, this, and this, and then it works. Fair enough. But there's a lot of science fiction stuff like that. Like faster than light travel, time travel, stuff of that nature. That is a really nice story device, but has zero practicality to it. It's just never going to happen in real life. It can't. It violates physics. You're never going to be able to make a machine that violates physics. That's like not how physics works to begin with. So yeah, what about futuristic technology since it's a futuristic ship? Here's the thing about futurism. Futurism is a guess. It's a stab in the dark using what we know. And yes, what we know can change. You know, what we know will improve, sure. But you should never abandon realism just because it's good story writing or it sounds cool. You can, if you want, you can abandon realism. But just know that by abandoning realism, you kind of also abandon the chance for making that thing happen. It sounds good on paper, but that doesn't mean it's ever going to really work in practice, you know? Don't they want to use those for mining asteroids? Yes, I'm hoping they do. You're an accounting student not understanding anything. I'm sorry, accounting student. Mr. Ghost of Uchiha. Whatever. Can I illustrate this with MS Paint? Maybe. It depends. Thank you for the kind sir who told me about all the standard model in 5th grade. Jesus. This book you have to read comes in 2 volumes. Damn. What book is it? Study of Jacktherippa is great art. No, it isn't. Why do I have the Aurora Borealis in a place without an atmosphere? Ah, good question. You see, you can simulate the Aurora Borealis with holograms. So get wrecked. And holograms are, get this, real. You can actually make a hologram. You just need a medium off which to balance light. And bam, you got a hologram. So, yeah. But the Aurora effect is just for show anyway. I mean, it didn't need to be, you know, super like... I mean, that's obviously just glass. Hell, in a zero-gravity environment, if you had tiny little thrusters on that stuff, you could just make a giant glass sculpture just rotate around your whatever and just have it out there for the hell of it. You wouldn't have to, you know, care. Obviously, you wouldn't want it rotating away. Maybe you could use electromagnets embedded in the glass to keep it suspended at a certain stable orbit. But you get the idea. Anyway, that's a futuristic ship. Why not some technology to manipulate gravity? Because that's not how you interact with gravity. Gravity does not work that way. Thanks so much to the kind man who taught you about the standard model that you can actually understand partially what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you partially understand, if nothing else. That's better than not understanding. Having zero comprehension. Could I repeatedly flip Space Valk if it were real so fast that you'd be able to walk on the disc normally? Repeatedly flip. In what plane? Godzilla or Transformers? I guess Transformers. No, it's just you. The stream shouldn't have ended. What? Stream should still be going. What the fuck? Being fucky. It should still be doing things. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. Yeah, for whatever reason it dipped hard. I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. I can't control if it will decide to stop working on me. Anyway. Let's see here. The textbook is Physics by Halliday Resnick Crane. It was written in the 60s to get the general public into helping beat the Soviets to the space race. Ah, no wonder. Can we just holograph gravity? Nope, that's not how gravity works. Repeatedly flipping space Valkyria so fast that you could walk on it. Maybe? You can hear me? Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you can hear me, Shapster. What happened? I don't know. The stream just dipped for some reason. Flipping the poles so fast that you can walk on the disc. So, like... Oh, man. This is the problem with 3 dimensions. You have to... You can only illustrate 3 dimensions in 2 dimensions. Okay, so, like... What direction are we rotating this? Are we rotating it this way? Or are we flipping it up and down like this? Because if we're rotating it up and down, so like here, I'm gonna do it, Poncho Hamster. I'm going into MS Paint. Let me make sure this is the right thing. Okay. Okay, so we'll just draw a crude model here. So we got our Space Valk 3 right here. Okay. Okay. So what way are you proposing that I flip this bad boy? In that we can walk on the disc. So let's separate this into 3 models, because there's 3-dimensional planes that we can do this in. Okay, so we can rotate it this way. We can rotate it this way. And we can rotate it this way. This way is probably going to be the hardest to imagine, but basically it's coming out of the plane at you. And the head is flipping down this way. And then this is obviously just standard spinning, like a spinning top. Get that a little more pointy. And then this is basically the same as this, but in the opposite plane. Or the perpendicular plane, sorry. So this is the Z plane. This is the X plane? So yeah, I guess this would be the Y plane. I think. Well, actually, X, Y, and Z are arbitrarily defined, so it wouldn't really matter in this instance. So anyway, so, yeah, you did it. You got me to do it. Up and down. So is that X, Y, or Z, Jay? Which one? Flipping the poles. Flipping the poles would either be X or Z. Oh, good evening, Sprook. I'm sorry you got unskippable ads, mate. Hopefully it's over for you. Up and down. Okay. What do I think aliens look like? They would look like the generic green-gray aliens, or think they'd look more like natural Honestly, I don't think we can envision properly what an alien is going to look like. And I don't think we're ever going to meet them either. Jokes aside, the shell is pretty useful too. Oh yeah. X, Y, and Z. So the first one, the X plane. Okay. Well, just so you know, the X and Z planes would produce the same result. The Y plane, you would be walking on the edges here. So, let me flip back. Game capture. With that, with the Y orientation, you would be walking on this back wall here. And this would be your floor. Same as without here on the major disc. So to have the disc surface here, this would have to be rotating. Oh man, if I had the replay mod, this would be so much easier to illustrate. It would have to be rotating like this, which would be a Z plane, or an X or Z, doesn't matter. An X or a Z plane transformation, or flipping. So yeah, a lot like the X plane, the Z plane would do the same thing, pretty much. But see, the problem I have with doing this is that this option here, even though it gives you very, very little movable space, because you'd only have like right here and some of these inner hallways to walk on. The problem is, this is the only structurally sound way to rotate the thing. If you tried rotating it this way, I guess I'll use green, this shit would not work. You would fling the station to pieces. It would fall apart in both of these instances. It would tear itself to pieces because you would have so much stress on this big disc and not enough structural support in the center here. And it would unscrew itself or unbuckle itself, whatever, and then bits of it would fly off into space and everybody would die. So no, that would not be a good way to do it. So as fun as it would seem to have the disc actually be a walkable surface, it would also be prohibitive to even attempt it, just because it would not stand the test of gravity. Gravity has a bullshit test, or not gravity, inertia. Sorry, mass has a bullshit test that it likes to pull every now and then, and objects that fail and is it mass or I think it's inertia. Objects that fail inertia's bullshit test tend to fall apart. Something like that. So it's a cool idea in theory, but a terrible idea in practice. Because, like with most things, you just wouldn't be able to set it up to where it won't blow up. Don't do Z? Well, that's the thing. Z and X produce the same result, so it doesn't matter. You can only do the Y, and that's it. Because any other option is destruction. Windows command processor, whatever Microsoft call. Oh, yeah. I don't know what y'all are talking about again. Ugh. But yeah, back to the aliens question that Top Hat Jack proposed. Halo or Star Trek? Star Trek, definitely. Halo is a little too dystopian for my tastes. I like how Star Trek actually is proposing something of an idyllic future without going overboard, even though it unironically goes overboard quite a bit. Oh shit, that's too much. But anyway, yeah, I'm not bad against things like Halo. But as for your aliens question, I'm fairly certain any aliens live far, far too far away for us to ever reasonably find them without it just being a fluke. Not to say that we can't find them, just that due to the restrictions of the speed of light, I don't think we're ever going to find them intentionally. And if we do, we would find them so far after the fact that it would be irrelevant. So who knows? I mean, we're all going to be nomads huddling around a black hole in a few billion years anyway. A few hundred, or no, probably a few billion years, something like that. When star creation has completely halted. God, that's going to be a depressing age to live in. But who knows, maybe quantum simulations and quantum holography will be able to make new universes. That would actually explain a ton about our universe if that ends up being possible. Because in that case, that would answer the question, are we alone? And the answer would probably be yes, because this was a quantumly designed universe to be very specifically tailored, and as a result, they didn't tailor it to allow non-humans. So who knows, maybe whoever made this universe was racist and didn't want aliens or non-human species, and so there you go. As wacky as that idea may seem, it may not be too far off the mark. So yeah, to answer the question ultimately, is this universe a simulation? Signs are pointing to no, but I mean, you can make a simulation that doesn't look like a simulation. And you can make a simulation that is undetectably a simulation, so who the fuck knows? Ultimately, I say the question itself is entirely a moot question. Even if you had your answer, what would it matter? If you had a definitive answer one way or the other, it would make zero difference in your life and in the way things work. So yeah, aliens probably don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And if they do exist, they're probably absurdly far away, and that we likely never get the chance to meet them. Because, like, you gotta understand, we'd be looking for a needle in a haystack, and so too would they. I just don't think it's likely. But hey, that's just me. Space Falcon needs an electromagnetic shield. Oh. Who here watched Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the cartoon? Speaking of an electromagnetic shield, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was the shit. I loved that cartoon. I'm so sad they canceled it when they did. Not you, Shaded GG? Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, let me pull up a thing. Godzilla or Ultraman? I guess Godzilla. I've never seen Ultraman. Star Command. Star Command. Huh? Images? There we go. There we go. Come on, give me a pic. Give me a pic I can use, you piece of shite. There we go. Perfecto. Okay, back to MS Paint. Give me a sec. No, not display. Window capture. There we go. So yeah, this is Buzz Lightyear Star Command's Star Command. Really, really nice premise for a show. If you're gonna, make a show based on space and shit. Because, Buzz Lightyear was a toy designed around space. So, of course, this is like the actual pseudo-explanation before the Buzz Lightyear movie that we got recently. This is kind of like the explanation for why, or where he came from, or whatever. And, yeah, this is Star Command, and this was just a really cool little space station that captured my imagination as a kid. And I thought, holy shit, I want to build that. And then Minecraft came along, and I was like, yeah, maybe I can. And then I was like, nah, I actually can't. And so in a lot of ways, this is not too, not too dissimilar from that. Oh, that looks awful. What am I doing? And so one of the interesting things that I wanted to adapt and use, the reason I'm bringing up the image at all, is that I planned on doing something very similar to this for Space Valk 3's disc. Specifically this, whoops, you can't see it. Specifically this segment right here. I was going to figure out a way to adapt this and put it onto the ring or onto the disc city in some way or something. And I still haven't 100% scrapped the idea, but I couldn't figure out a good way to sort of rotate it in Minecraft because, like, with the disc here, you can see how over here the glass sort of wraps around, and so orienting it to where it looks like it's actually flipping properly, I don't know. I still want to make those giant fins, and the fins down here, where are they? Ah, right here. The fins down here were inspired by Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. And I know these don't really, like, have a purpose or a function, but you can kind of see how already, yeah, little bits and pieces of that were something that I took that to heart. And this is my really bad attempt at flipping them into a 45-degree angle, except not really. It's just sort of a trick of the eye. They're not actually at a 45-degree angle, they're just going straight X and Z. North, or what is this, east and west? Yeah, they're just going east-west, just like everything else. So, like, I still kind of want to do that, is the thing. Whoops, where was I? Where was I working? So, yeah, right here. So, I don't know. I haven't 100% given up on the idea, but I'm not, like, certain how I'm going to make it happen. So, I don't know. So yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. Not really sure where I'm going with this building, but it's gonna look dope. Scariest looking sci-fi character? Probably the Xenomorph. Maybe the Predator. Predator has a face only a mother could love, so who knows. Buzz shorts after the first two movies, the guy who betrayed Buzz. Warp Dark Matter, I think his name was. The ball building is in now. Nice. Yeah, it is. Space Valk 3 is the main, and there are little miniature Space Valks all around it. Yes, that would be so cool, Shadow. I might do that. I've not ruled it out. I might. What if I move the rings, then flip it? We'll see. I'm not 100% against it. I'll figure out how to shoehorn it in. Maybe later. Wasn't the concept of multiverse somewhat plausible? Yeah. But I doubt we'd be able to go to any any parallel universes. Just because I'm fairly certain that would violate conservation of matter and energy. Because a universe would suddenly have matter and energy in it that it didn't have 5 minutes ago. And that would be a giant physics oversight. If universes can suddenly have matter and energy that it didn't have at the Big Bang from the start, you know. So who knows? Maybe. We'll see, Jay. We'll see. I can't guarantee anything. Let's go 20. Jack isn't happy you've said that. What? Oh, yeah. It's just more of an annoyance. I'm tired of seeing the message. Like, no offense, Riolani. I'm just... I can only take the same message so many times. It feels like spam at a certain point. That's really all I'm, like, annoyed by. Okay. Then what happens when we do the elephant toothpaste, huh? Fuck if I know. I don't know what elephant toothpaste even is. I know it's a science experiment or a chemistry experiment, but I don't know any more about it than that. Why would anyone care about elephants brushing their teeth anyway? I mean, I just don't understand. Maybe it's the boomer in me. I just want to grill, for gosh sakes. Imagine trying to find the bathroom here. Oh, I know. There are only like 2. And the whole of Space Valk, no less. Or Space Valk 3, I mean. Whoops. Let's go. There we go, that updated it. It was annoying me that the glass and walls were not connecting properly. There we go. Anyway, it's not actual toothpaste, it's a lot of foam. Yeah, I know what it is. I was kidding. Some cold sweat inducing pop-up messages. Yeah. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I like it when it's connected. Fuck. My stupid fingers. I only wanted to stack it 20 times, not 209. Okay. 21. Yeah, that'll work. Space Valkyria 3 2.0. Let's not get wild, Shade GG. Let's not go wild now. Just 2 and all the base? Bruh, no way. What if I said I was not lying? What do I think about the new snapshot? The chat restrictions and support. I mean, I don't like it. But at the same time, sausage ga Mojang. This is exactly what I expect from Microjang. There's not a damn thing about this I like, and it is every bit as awful as everybody is going to say it's going to be. Because Mojang doesn't trust us to let people be people. That's the thing. This is the core behavior that this stems from. It stems from a lack of trust and care in how people in people's autonomy. It stems from a major lack of care in how people are. You don't allow people to just be themselves. When you have to police and nanny them, you're telling them deep down that we don't think highly enough of you for you to be able to control yourself, or to police yourself, or to police your own server. We think so little of you that we're going to do it for you. That's nannying. And the vast majority of people do not need that. They do not want that. And they don't like it when they're put in that situation. Nobody wants to be told what to do, especially if you're an adult. You run your own server. You know how things are. You don't need Mojang stepping in to tell you how to run it. You are more than capable of living your own life. You don't need someone to do it in your stead or tell you how to live it, or anything like that. It gets infuriating after a while, because no matter how much people say, hey, stop that shit, hey, leave us alone, hey, let us do our own thing, hey, you know, blah, 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 blah. People like Microsoft do not listen. They don't care. They care more about their image than they do their customers. Now, why they're waiting this late to start implementing this now, I don't know. Maybe they initially bought up Mojang thinking, oh, well, we can put these changes into effect when no one's looking later on down the road. And I mean, maybe, but it's not like nobody is ever not looking, you know? I don't know. So yeah, that's where we stand right now. Sorry, I was taking a drink. And yeah, it's awful. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what Mojang will do. If they'll actually listen and roll these changes back. Pro tip, they won't. Spoiler alert, they aren't gonna listen. So I don't know. Maybe we can all go to Hightail when that game comes out, and it'll be not garbage. I mean, that's a big if, but, you know, maybe. Oh, well. What can you do? Well, at any rate, I think this has been pretty good for today. Oh, hey, Russian friend, how are you? Well, got a decent amount of stuff done, I think. Actually, I should probably walk forward to zoom out just a tiny bit. Get this thing, you know, under better control. I'm liking this place. Let's see now. I want to move myself somewhere. Ah, I know. I kind of want to have, like, the whole place in view. Somewhere, like, right over here. Whoa. Yeah, that'll work. and then I want to get everything in view. I wish it didn't have to reload everything that it had already loaded. There we go. Empty hand. Come on, load in. I want to get a nice picture of everything in the background with me in the foreground. I mostly just want the central pillar to fucking load. Oh well, I'll worry about this later. This isn't essential for you guys. But anyway, so yeah, thank you all for coming out and watching. I will early stream ends or a feature? What are you talking about early? This is still right on time. Oh man. Anyway, oh, you've been busy, haven't watched. That's okay. Don't worry, man. Whenever you get to come in, I'm perfectly fine. That my eyes are purple. They're a purpley blue color, sort of an indigo-ish color. But don't worry about it. At any rate, thank you all for coming out and watching me. Oh man, a lot has changed around here, hasn't it? I can't believe I've been streaming here for a year already. Where's the time go? We're on what, 1:35? Whew. 1:36 will be what, Wednesday? So inside like another 2 or 3 months, we'll be on 150, 160. Hell, by literally my birthday, we'll be dawning on the doorstep of 200. That's what, 2 a week? 4 weeks, that's what? So we go through almost 10 episodes a month. So yeah, in like it would be 7 months. Or no, 6.5 months. So in roughly 6.5 months. So no, it'll be the end of the year. It'll be at the end of the year, we'll be at episode 200 again. Man. Well, isn't that something? So yeah, it's going well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for just giving me a moment of your time and enjoying the fun stuff we do and the crazy shit I talk about. And all the other junk RIP Shadowrun. Hey, I mean, it ran its course, man. It had its time. It's a short game. What can I say? Other than that, I will catch you all tomorrow for Hardcore with Jack. Be here or be cuboidal. And in other news, y'all stay safe, have a good night, and take care. Bye.